A lot of times when fishing tidal water, and it's not just tidal water, I guess really any given fishery we go to, but especially in current situations that we're fishing here, you want to find something just a little bit different. You can see we're throwing the LV out here, the LV500, and basically just a lot of hydrilla. And what we're trying to find, and these are the key areas, will be little indentations in the grass line, a little pocket they can sit in. You're looking for peninsulas, little areas these fish can get right out of the main current and just let the bait fish wash down to them. So you find a lot of fish holding back eddies and things like that, just so the fish don't have to run and chase the bait. The current will wash the food into them. But just try and key in on those little changes in the grass lines and contours. Definitely help you catch a lot more fish. Changed up a little bit. I let it drop all the way bottom, jigged it once, and he thumped it. Oh, not a bad fish. Ooh, come here, buddy. Get a little better. Ah. I hope that thing once off the bottom, he just thumped it. Ah. Well, not a big one, but not a bad one either. Try that again. Probably noticed that a lot of the colors I'm throwing on the LV series and the Fat CB, my jig, everything's kind of black and red. Reason for that is, especially in the fall, a lot of these bigger fish start keying in on crawfish a lot more. Not that they don't eat them all year long, but these fish are really trying to thicken up for the winter. And they'll get a little more weight gain out of crawfish than we'll eat a bunch of little skinny little shad. So that's why we're going to crawfish here. It's a real prevalent forage in our delta system. So we're trying to make a big red crawdad get sucked up by a big old bass. Yeah. Keep pulling, baby. Keep pulling. You're getting a little bigger. Interesting bite, and I flip in it. You're not even feeling a bite. Just watch the line swim away a little bit. And, well, cool. Take that any day. See if there's another one in there. Oh, geez. Guess there was another one in there. Alright. That hook's real good, but yeah. Well, this will start making me feel a lot better. Yeah, I could have swore he's gonna be a lot bigger than that. When I first rode up on that fish, he's wrapping some of them toolies there, and felt like it was gonna be a monster. Oh! Oh, that was a good one too. Oh, man! He was suspended in that stuff. That jig fell about 2 feet, and I just felt it kind of go thump, thump. Oh! Oh, well. I think typically, I would say historically, an incoming tide is commonly when a lot more bass will move up and start feeding. If I had to pick one favorite time to fish a tide, probably be the first 45 minutes of an incoming tide. That time zone right there is probably your peak bite in most deltas that I've ever been to, tidal waters. So if you can get a milk run in that time zone on a body of water, you know, maybe you have 20, 30, 40, 50 stops, chasing a tide to stay in that 45-minute zone, those are the days when you can really succeed and have just an incredible day of fishing. But it takes a while to learn those milk run stops. You can't just go out there and start chasing a tide and have nowhere to go. you gotta have spots to fish, and that just comes with time in the water, and you'll learn a bunch of little areas you can stop at certain tides. And but even at low tide, these fish, you know, fish will feed most of the time. Slack tide, without a doubt, probably the hardest tide to fish, or time of day to fish, when there's really no water movement. And I believe what happens at that time of day, when the water goes slack, I think that's when fish will start doing a lot of moving. They'll swim from one side of the channel to the other side of the channel. They have no current restricting them from going anywhere. So it's kind of like a free movement. It's like they're, you know, what do you want to say? It's like, you know, just an easy ride. They don't have to exert all their energy to get from point A to point B. So. Ooh. Pretty fish. Hello, jig. I whacked him. Not bad. Did you see my line? I fished in there and it kind of stops. I'm like, I don't know if there's bottom there, or then it kept going. I'm like, something's not right. Two things that happen with the high tide and low tide. One, high tide, water comes up, fish move up with the water up to the shallowest available cover. Whether they're on a log, they'll move from the end of the tip up to the base. They could be holding on an outside ledge. As the tide comes up, move up into the grass line. Just the opposite. When the water falls, tide goes out, fish are going to pull out to the outside edge of that grass or pull down to the outer edge of the log, just positioning to where they still have some water depth. That's a nice fish. I'll take that any day of the week right there. Well, with the tide going out, kind of backed off, and we didn't back off, but changed up, went to a fat CB. Fish pull out of the outside cover, like say, probably fish was up in this grass a little bit tighter when the tide came out. Pulls out to the outer edge, and switching to a crankbait made all the difference, so not bad. Let's do that again. He flat clobbered that thing. There we go. Slowing down the retrieve. I was throwing the shallow diving fat CB earlier, even though we're only fishing anywhere from 2 to 5 foot of water. But I switched over and went to the medium runner, get it down a little bit deeper. I get closer to the bottom, slow my retrieve down, and just kind of banging it off the cover. And just that little bit of change so far is proven to be valuable. And it's little things like that in tournament fishing is, you know, for myself as a tournament angler, make all the difference of getting a paycheck or not, is making those little changes and adjustments. And a lot of times that adjustment may only mean one bite. That one bite can mean a big difference in how you finish in a tournament, and whether they take home a big paycheck or a little paycheck, or make the classic or no classic.